All righty, everybody. Welcome to Talking Real Estate with Champions Real Estate Team at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Company. My name is Mark Winter, the second team leader here at Champions Real Estate Teams. And joining me today is Russ Williams with Williams Mortgage. We try to jump on here every Wednesday over kind of the lunch hour and give you kind of rundown of what's gone on in the real estate market over the last week and just kind of what we're seeing from other agents. And then obviously what Russ is seeing in the mortgage industry side of it. Chatting with builders, all that kind of fun stuff, just to give you a good synopsis of what's going on. And you may hear my 6.5-month-old daughter in the background here today. So doing daddy daycare, a little multitasking here while we're doing live videos. So, but anyways, we'll jump right into it. What's going on in the market over the last week? Numbers are down a little bit from the weeks prior. So we had 373 new listings go active, just about 350 new contracts that were written. So homes that went pending. And then 540, 535 new homeowners in their new houses that closed this last week. So those numbers are a little bit down, probably about 50 or 60 from the week prior for new listings and new contracts. So ultimately we had Memorial Weekend coming up. We had the holiday weekend, people, starting to take vacations, schools out, graduation parties. Those are a lot of things that we see on a typical market, year to year. Being a fourth generation realtor, I've kind of seen a lot of trends growing up and then chatting over with my parents that have been around it for a lot of years. Typically around this time with graduation parties, it does slow down a little bit. But with the market that we're in now, it doesn't really slow down a whole lot. So we have this simple supply and demand aspect of it going into it. And then obviously going into the rest of the summer here. So the market will still be pretty active. We'll take a big 30,000 foot view. Look at the market numbers. So when we take a bigger perspective of the Omaha MLS, Lincoln MLS as well, we have 1,335 active listings that you can go take a look at today. I did pull out the no-show listings. What that means is those are listings that are active on the MLS that just agents can see. So those are some of the diamonds in the rough that maybe are getting ready to go on the market in that aspect of it. So, if you're working with an agent, especially one here at Champions Real Estate Team, we do look at those. And we will, get you those information. Even had some successful offers being sight unseen on some of those houses. Because legally, any offer that is submitted by an agent to another agent, legally that has to be submitted or presented within a timely manner. That seller may say, hey, we're not looking at offers until next Sunday. But hey, that agent has to let them know they have one in their possession and present that to that seller in a timely manner. So that's one of those things that you can jump onto if you're comfortable doing those sight unseens, maybe still doing a home inspection, but basically getting ahead of the game in that aspect of it. Hi, you want to jump in too? Okay. So as we go through here, so we had just so when we break that down further, we have just under 700 listings in the Douglas and Sarpy County area. So basically the Metro Omaha area, existing homes on the market, about 440 existing homes, and then the rest being 256 new construction listings. Going through that aspect of it. So, chatting with, she's full of talkative today. So, but anyways, talking over with other agents, we did have our Berkshire sales meeting yesterday, and kind of the general consensus, what we're seeing in the marketplace being that there's still multiple offers on homes, and even some of the listings I've had recently, we're not seeing the 20 offers, 25 offers. And I think partially because some people are kind of getting burned out. And they're like, we may go wait on the sidelines a little bit, and numbers telling us, even talking with Russ here before we got on, is that now is the time to keep plugging away and finding that house that may be best suited to you, because you're going to have that less competition. People are going on vacations, taking a break from looking at homes. Well, that's one of those things your time to shine is to get out there and keep actively looking at those homes that are coming on the market there. But, we talked about it last week. The supply and demand, is it going to let up? Should I wait till the fall? No, it's, like I said, we're not an economist, but when we look at the statistics and the numbers, the graph that we showed you last week, I don't have it pulled up here, but basically over the last decades from, the 1930s all the way through 2009, there was about an average about $20 million, or not 20 million homes being built in the US. And then from 2010 to 2019, we had 5.8 million homes built in the entire US. So it's simple numbers. It's just statistics looking at that we don't have that supply. And then when we talked about those entry-level homes, first-time home buyer homes, that's non-existent right now almost in this marketplace. Because the entry-level new construction home roughly is right around $250,000. Well, if you're 25 coming out of college, just got your first job, the likelihood of being able to qualify for a $250,000 home, not so much. Maybe if you're dual income or things like that, there are those opportunities, but there are no more really new houses, new constructions being built. We talked about this yesterday in our sales meeting. So what you need is you need those homes that those people that are in those homes, under 250, someplace for them to go to, so those homes come on the market, entry-level buyers, and then, it just steps up, and then you have the people coming back down that are downsizing. So it's just an inevitable cycle that goes through. And so that's what we're seeing right now, is that we don't have that new construction supply for those, let's say, second-time home buyers, the larger families moving up for them to go to. So they're staying put, they're gaining all this equity in their homes, which is great. But in turn, those prices keep going up because of supply and demand, and the cost of labor, cost of new construction, everything we've talked about going through here. So apologize about Olivia wants to get on camera too, huh? Yeah, he's smiling. Anyways, but yeah, so as we go through that, everyone's like, well, I'm going to wait till spring weather dies down. Well, I don't necessarily see that happening because we just don't have the supply in the pipeline to get that done in that aspect of it. So I think staying the course, and like we've talked on multiple weeks prior, having a plan of action to get the job done, working with a lender, and different strategies that we have here at Champions Real Estate Team, to get you into the house, to get you at least a seat at the table. There's been quite a few times this last month or two that we've gotten a seat at the table, but the prices that they're asking or people are going up to, in my mind seem kind of crazy, but that's what people are doing, but at least gives you an opportunity to say yes or no to that, rather than me as the agent just getting a text message from the lovely listing agent saying, hey, appreciate your offer. It's a strong offer, going through that. And sorry, we went with another offer. So, but yeah, so that's kind of what's going on in the marketplace. We still have that, low inventory, but there are still opportunities out there to buy. On our team, we have listings coming up, and we let our buyers know with permission from our sellers that, hey, do you want to put it on the market, open market, create the frenzy, or do you just want to sell the house? Some people just want to sell the house. They get a good price for it, in that aspect of it, and they're happy, buyer's happy, and so everyone's happy in that regards, and you can make a deal. But that home maybe never gets on the market. So there's a lot of inventory that really sometimes doesn't get on the market. And working with agents, here at Champions Real Estate Team that have that inside track to potentially finding those other listings that aren't coming on the market, and even agents that aren't on our team that we network and we talk with and we work together, because inevitably, yes, we're all in competition with each other, but we all have to play nice in the sandbox, from regards. And that's why having those healthy relationships with other agents, especially at Berkshire being one of the largest brokerages, as far as volume, number of transactions, we're the largest in the North America. I think we did over 1,200 or 12,000 transactions last year. I have to double check the math. I got the numbers on my sheet here, but yeah. So as we say, get a plan, get everything put together, and go from there. We'll touch base here with Russ on what's going on in the mortgage side of it, and what the rates are doing, and all that good stuff, and what he's kind of seeing.
Market's extraordinary. We're seeing interest rates hold steady in spite of inflationary pressures. And a significant reason for that is the Federal Reserve has indicated that they want to continue, at least for now, buying mortgage bonds with the effort of trying to keep interest rates low, to keep people being able to be in affordable price ranges or affordable payment ranges. So the Fed, we were early in the year, we were concerned that maybe the Fed wasn't going to notice that the inflation numbers that we would see happen in April, May, June, and June were by and large driven by COVID, but they apparently were listening. So they have been buying a lot of bonds and have kept interest rates low. That doesn't mean that they're going to continue to stay low. And so we want to be prepared for that because we do anticipate that unless we get the economy open back up, supply chains open back up, goods delivered so that we can try to bring some prices down, that inflationary pressures will eventually win out and push interest rates higher. So for those of you that haven't refinanced, jump on it now. This may be your last opportunity for a while. For those of you that are looking at buying a home, I'm going to echo, Mark, what you said. You have to have a plan. And I'll compare this to Tom Brady. he doesn't just go out and win the game. He has to prepare. Does he lose some games? Yes, he might lose out on some plan. And I will give you high encouragement that if you have a plan, that you eventually will win a bid. It just may take a little bit of time, and patience is the course. Mark, over the last 61 years, we've seen 3.4% appreciation in the Omaha metro market as a general rule on all price points. We're going to be a lot hotter than that for a few years here. And for those folks that think that valuations are going to drop unless we have something catastrophic happen, I certainly don't see that in the data. To your point, I look at it this way. We have roughly 9 buyers for every prospective home that's for sale right now, and that's nationwide. So even if affordability started to become cramped a little bit and a few of those buyers could no longer qualify, even if we're 5, 6, 7 buyers for every home, do we really think values are going to drop off? Now, we'd have to see a tremendous increase in interest rates, and we'd have to see a tremendous rise in inventory for that demand-supply ratio to change the dynamic that we're in now. Valuations are expected to rise based upon all the technical data, at least for the foreseeable future. So stay the course, buy the house as close as you can to today's price with today's financing, which is not far off of all-time lows.
So yeah, I mean, I agree. Having that stay in the course. And I know we talked about like the new construction last week. You know, let's say a house is, you know, last year was at 400 and now it's at 475. You know, if the values in lumber does come back down, as it inevitably will, everything goes in cycles. Will that house now drop back down lower? I don't see that happening. It never did in 2008. You know, after that, you know, the housing bubble, I know I bought a house, a Hearthstone home for 110, split entry home, 1,200 square feet, closed in 2007. They were selling my exact same home for 106, you know, in 2010. So 3 years later, yes, it went down a little bit, but gosh, now look at the houses now, you know, 13 years later, you know, the house that I lived in is now selling for 200 plus, you know, which is crazy, but that's just the supply and demand aspect of it. So, yeah, I know you're laughing about having a plan to prepare. I know it was Mike Tyson. He's like, everyone's got a game plan until you get punched in the mouth. So that's something that even when you do get punched in the mouth, and sometimes, you know, when we are working with clients and they haven't been exposed to the marketplace, and we're telling them this is what it's going to take to buy the house. Oh yeah, we're just going to do this, and they get punched in the mouth the first time, and it's like, all right, Mark, what do we got to do? This is what you got to do, you know, and that's part of being in the 12 round bout. You know, it is like a boxing match sometimes because you don't always win it in the first round. You know, sometimes you may write 12 contracts, you know, maybe a 12 round bout, you know, and so you gotta, every time you got to go back to the corner, talk to your trainers, talk to your coaches, essentially your real estate agent, your lender. How can we make this thing work? And, you know, it's literally a 12 round boxing match. And sometimes you're going to win it in the 5th round, and sometimes you're going to take it all the way to the decision, and it's going to be a coin flip, and don't leave it up to the judges. You know, that's what we've always heard. And so if you can write a strong offer off the get-go, you know, maybe before it's on the market, you know, and something like that, don't leave it to the judges to make the decision for you. So
sometimes a punch in the mouth is what it takes to focus you on winning the battle. So
yeah. So I think that's a great way to end it, right? A little boxing analogy. So anyways, appreciate everyone checking us out. And if you have any questions, you know, my phone number, 402-672-7670, or you can reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of fun stuff, social media. Russ, you can do the same as well. His number is 290-8936 at russ@williamsmortgagellc.com. Shoot him an email. Even if you're working with another lender, want to get a second opinion, you know, he's happy to help. And he's, you know, the thing I like about Russ is that he's going to tell you all of the options. Oh, you're a first-time homebuyer, you should use FHA. Here's an FHA loan. This is what you're going to need to do. You know, if you're working with a lender that's not giving you all the options, or at least letting you make the decision on what's best for you, you know, having Russ in your corner, back to the boxing analogy, is really going to help you, you know, go out there and fight the good fight, essentially. So, but as always, thank you again, Russ, for joining us. Enjoy the nice weather out there. It's a little better than last week. So we'll go from there. We'll end on that. And like I said, questions, give me a holler, and happy to help. And we will talk to you guys soon.